What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of the Tusketeers Hogcast. What's up, Buck? And what up, Camo?
What up, guys?
Y'all ready to rock it out tonight?
Absolutely.
Man, I tell you what, woo pig.
Woo pig,
right? I mean, an unbelievable, okay. Yes, UAPB, let's get that out of the way, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter who it is to come out and have that to display that dominance from the very first kickoff. I mean,
yeah,
it doesn't matter who the opponent
played
is.
lesser opponents. It's you got to play who's in front of you.
That's right.
Yeah. You can't. It's not like we called them 2 weeks before. 2 weeks before we played and said, "Hey, we think we're going to beat the heck out of you guys. Can you be on our schedule?"
Yeah.
These games are scheduled 2 years in advance. Sometimes. So,
yeah. Well.
No,
you're right, and I just love to see it, and obviously we're going to break it down here in just a minute, but
yeah, they were a lesser opponent. Yeah, everyone knows that, right? But we did what we're supposed to, and then some.
That's right. Yeah,
exactly.
I think we over succeeded than most people would have thought.
Well, what was our scores? We were 44-10.
41-10.
You were 41-10. What did you have, Bones?
I had, let's see here. I had for the very first game, I had 48-10.
48-10.
Yeah.
So we didn't give the Hogs as much credit as they deserve, and we gave UAPB more credit, thinking they would at least score on our defense.
Right. Our defense did better, I think, than what we all thought. Yeah. I mean, they completely shut them down.
Yeah. Well, before we get too far into the breakdown of week 1 versus UAPB, shout out to everyone out there for, again, all the love and support that y'all have shown us so far. It's been really amazing just to get all the feedback. I mean, I know y'all have shared some with me, and I've shared with y'all what people have said to me, but it's been.
We've got people following us in Florida. I met a guy on the plane, and he said, "Hey, I'm tuning in." So shout out to Matt if you're watching. I hope you are. But we've got people all over that's responded to our Hogcast. So
absolutely,
it's exciting. We appreciate you guys
in the casino. You got over the weekend. He got recognized.
I was at the casino this weekend. He said, "Hey, man, what's your name?" I told him my name, and he said, "Do you have a podcast?" I was just started busting out laughing. It was
really,
yeah, it was awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
But so again, I'm going to say it every episode. So shout out, thank you everyone out there, and we're already getting sponsorship offers. We've gotten a couple so far, and maybe
thought that was a little further down the road.
I did too, but
it's going a little quicker than we thought, which is good.
We're working.
It means at least somebody's enjoying.
That's right.
Our material.
Sure. I mean, why not? I was told today though by a coworker that we need a funny guy. So I guess no one's funny. Apparently,
we're gonna have some fun.
I knew this guy.
Y'all told me to hold back.
I knew this guy wasn't funny.
Not with the funniness.
Okay.
He said, "Be funny, not look funny."
But, okay, I got you.
I've got a comment for that, but I'm going to.
But again, so thank you again. Make sure to like and subscribe to us on Facebook and YouTube, and we're on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can find us there.
Thanks to Bones. Bones got us hooked up again.
I'm trying to work.
He's an El Capitan.
We're still having issues with the live, the video feed on the live. So
he's definitely the bones of this whole thing, huh?
The bones.
That was me trying to be funny.
There's a song about the bones. Something about the bones are good. Something or another. I don't know.
Is that your
girl?
Something?
It's a girl country singer.
Oh,
who sings it? Maren Morris.
You wouldn't know that.
Anyway,
I have no idea.
All right. Well, let's just break it down. We've got another hour-long episode tonight. Let's just break down week 1. Arkansas 70-0 versus the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. We played the game on Thursday. I don't remember what was the date. August 29th. Let's call it that.
Yeah.
August 29th. I was whatever day that was, and however old I was that day. I was that day year old when I realized the UAPB logo, the Golden Lion, the main of the UAPB logo says UAPB. Did y'all know that?
Had no idea.
Look it up. Look up.
Does it
UAPB.
really?
Look up the
Wow,
UAPB
That's pretty
logo,
freaking sweet.
the lion, and in the main it spells UAPB. I had no idea that it did that. I was sitting there
So
watching
has
the
that
game.
always been the case, or they changed
I think
that
it's always
logo
been that way.
Oh, I
over
see
the-
it now.
over
See
the
it?
days?
I see it now.
UAPB.
Over
I
the years.
It's hard to see.
had
Wow.
no idea
Huh.
until
Pretty cool.
until last Thursday.
Huh.
Anyway, so yeah, I mean, we had 10 offensive drives, 10 touchdowns.
Which that's probably never happened.
It's been a while since it's happened. I forgot when they
It was
said
our
it
largest
was.
margin of victory since 1928 when we beat Texas Southwest 73-0. So 1928 was the last time we beat
Who'd
an
we-
opponent.
who'd we
Second
play?
largest victory.
Who'd we play then?
I think
It was Texas
yeah.
Southwest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, 10 possessions, 10 touchdowns. And, for the first squad to do that and pitch a shutout, not only that, but the second squads did that
Yes,
offensive and
yeah.
defensively. Then the third squad come in and did the exact same thing to put a game together. It doesn't matter who the opponent is.
Right.
To be able to do that is impressive.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at some quick stats, you're talking second, third team. Malachi Singleton, 8 for 10, 120 yards. KJ Jackson, 4 for 4 with 59 yards.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
those
I've got
two.
a little stat for you. How many rushing touchdowns did we have last year altogether? Do y'all know the number?
10.
We had 9. You know
9?
how many
Okay.
rushing touchdowns we had Thursday night? 8. We were one shy of our season total of rushing touchdowns in one game.
One name, Bobby Petrino. That's all I gotta say.
Hey, Bobby Petrino, and let's not.
How about-
I mean,
but let's not.
He wasn't out there playing. But
yeah, but he's
let's give-
coaching them. Hey, now I want to go off that. Like he's getting these wide
Yeah.
receivers wide open.
Oh yeah,
I
but
One thing
think
I've
he
got to
was
say
geared up.
is the quarterback is throwing to wide open receivers. He missed some targets.
he
he
did.
missed
I
some
think
open
in the
targets.
first quarter,
I think
And
the
that's
win
what I'm,
had
that's
some
what I'm
factors,
stressing
though.
is I'm kind of concerned on his accuracy going forward.
Yeah.
First
game jitters. He's got a lot of spotlight. I mean, we've talked about Traylon Green for what since November.
Talon.
Taylor Green, sorry. Yeah. Since November.
I only said it because last week you said you
Did
kept
I-
calling
did
him
I-
Traylon. I
I'm
think.
sorry.
So.
I'm sorry. We've had a bunch of Traylons and Traylon.
Yeah, we have Traylon Burks.
yeah.
Yeah.
We've had like 5 of them,
Yeah.
so forgive me on that. But he's got a spotlight on him. And coming out, he was a little rusty. I mean, first quarter was a little but man, he sharpened
Not
up.
on the run game.
And once you kind of get the juices flowing, you're kind of in the groove there. He did.
I
a lot
wanted to
better.
see one drive from the first team in the second half. I don't know about y'all. I know everyone's concerned about injuries and all that. I
Yeah.
wanted to see one drive, coming out of halftime, seeing them go down the field again and do it again. But they didn't put them out there, I guess, because of injuries and all that. But
Well, and
Uh,
we agreed to play 10-minute quarters. The rest of the
Right.
game.
Well, I think
So,
Pittman said
it was-
83 guys played in that game. You got all
all
majority,
guys,
yeah.
but I think
90% of
7.
your team, if not more than that,
Yeah.
got some good experience, in-game experience, which is good. And it's more about us than UAPB. I kind of felt bad for UAPB for a
I did
little
too.
while. About midway through the third quarter, I'm like, man, we're really putting them on.
You could just
Well, I
see
mean,
the
you can't-
size difference too.
Yeah,
I mean, in
yeah,
the speed. I mean, it
absolutely,
was a
but-
big
And we
difference.
really don't know how good Arkansas is based off this or how bad UAPB, and it's probably a little bit of both. They're a lesser opponent, obviously, but, we've played guys or teams that's been about the quality of this and won 49-10, 35-7, or whatever it was. And we really didn't check every box and do what we needed to. We did that on Thursday, and that's what you got to look at. You can't look at, it's UAPB. Don't
Yeah.
be
We
negative.
exceeded
Try to be
expectations.
positive. Look at the glass half
Exactly.
full and say, hey, we could have done a whole lot different in
Yeah.
this game. And
Yeah,
we
I mean,
handled business.
What would we be talking about right now if we won 35-0 or 35-10? If we let off the gas like we always have in the past, I
Yeah.
mean, if we would literally have let off the gas and gave them a touchdown or a couple field goals and that which they're capable of. I mean, every team's capable of scoring.
I mean,
right.
what else can you
But-
ask? We put it in our backups.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying is it
But
was
kept playing football. And I like
you can't put the backup in and say
it was dominant.
a quarterback
Don't
don't be
play
a quarterback.
Right.
Don't throw it down the field.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't do that. Don't put the offensive lineman out there. Don't block very good.
Yeah.
You got to put them out there and tell them to play their game.
But to go
Exactly.
9 for 9 on third downs, no fourth downs on the Arkansas side of the ball, no fourth downs throughout the whole game, even with our
9 for 9.
9 for 9 on third downs.
Yeah, that's great.
With our seconds and thirds in there.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean,
shows we're deep. I mean, we've got some good. That's the thing that Pittman's not had. When KJ went down 2022, missed 3 games, then they tried to bring him in the 4th game, didn't do that well. We had a quarterback injury. Who do we have to play? Not a very good backup quarterback.
right.
What Singleton did awesome.
I was impressed with his accuracy.
He did great.
Yeah.
And the
So
zip on
to
the
have
ball.
a good backup quarterback,
Yeah.
know that we're deep. We can maybe withstand an injury if that happens to happen, which I hope not. But that's good to know. It's good to know Singleton can carry his own.
Yeah.
Of
Of course,
at least we think so.
I'd like to see the rotation of running backs. I'd like to see Dominion in there. We know we've got to see Braylon Russell, but I mean Jaquindon Jackson. What a stud.
Yeah,
What
he's
awesome.
he's impressive looking at him. I mean, he was running down the field, and you could just see the size and the speed difference between not only him and UAPB, but him and the other players on the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Yeah.
I mean, his legs are big. I mean, he looks
He's
like
fast.
an NFL running back.
Yes, he
Yeah.
does.
Oh, he will
fast,
be.
powerful.
He will be
got
playing
good
the
vision.
next level.
He was very patient with hitting the
For
holes
sure.
and stuff.
But when he hit him,
Offensive
he hit
line
him
did
hard.
a great job. They took
Yep.
care of their assignments, which Pittman. You hear the post game press conference. You hear what he has to say. Obviously, we have 2 eyes we can
Yeah.
see for ourselves. There wasn't a whole lot of mistakes. Even penalty. I think we have 6
Yeah,
penalties.
we had
And that was more
couple
on the
penalties,
back
yeah.
end. Yeah, 5 or 6 penalties. That was more on the back end of the game too.
Yeah.
So I really, really thought we were sharp. The whole game through. So
yeah, no, absolutely. 14 different receivers
caught a
I think
ball.
caught the
Yeah.
ball, and
We held them to 130 total yards,
Yeah.
which is just crazy.
Yeah.
We had 687 total yards in that game, which
Yep.
is
We
Taylor
still
Gr-
had 2 SEC teams more than us, Ole Miss and Auburn.
Yep.
Yards
Yep.
wise.
absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, no, Taylor Green, 16 for 23, 229 yards in the air, with 2 touchdowns, 6 rushes, 88 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. What do we think about Taylor Green? His display on
I
Thursday.
think, like you said, if we'd have won this game 40-10, 35-7, something like that,
like we predicted,
we would have won the game and we'd be talking, Hogs won, whatever. But to take care of business like they did, I think they're going to go into Oklahoma State very confident. I don't think they're going to overlook Oklahoma State like too confident, but they're going to go in there with their chest stuck out going, we can beat anybody. If we play our game, if we do what we've been coached to do, if we execute, we can beat anybody in the country. And that's got to be your mindset.
Yeah.
If you're a football team in D1, especially SEC team, if you're approaching any opponent going, well, we're probably going to lose, that's not the approach you have to have. You have to go into every game thinking you're going to win.
Yeah.
We've got a swagger back for sure. And I think
Yeah.
there's, again, one name that's brought that swagger back, and mostly offense, Bobby Petrino.
Yeah.
I mean, he really has. He's brought the swagger back to not only the offense, but the whole team.
Yeah.
I mean, you can just see it.
Yeah,
out there.
well, I mean, defensively, I mean, we've got one of the best, if not the best, up and coming D coordinators up there
Oh,
right now.
T.
I
Will's
mean,
awesome.
T. Will is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. Well, and give Pittman credit. A lot of head coaches have an ego and they don't get out of the way. They're like, well, I'm going to control this. I'm going to say this. I'm going to, monitor and micromanage this. He's been able to go, Bobby, you got the keys.
I think he knows his
You
place.
got the keys to the offense. T. Will, you do your thing on defense. I'm going to sit back and manage it all. Make sure we're in the right places. It's giving him more time to focus on the offensive line.
Exactly.
He's had
those guys
that's,
like
that's
this.
what I was going to say.
So,
is,
you got to give Pittman credit that he's not an ego coach.
He's not
he
an
just
X's and
wants
O's
to
coach.
win
Yeah.
for the University of Arkansas.
Absolutely.
And that's, you got to tip your cap to that.
Yeah, and Bobby, I mean, obviously we all know and remember what happened. That I think he's got a chip on his shoulder, coming in here and not really sure how well it was going to be received as far as the hire goes, and coming in here and starting out like that. I think
he's got something to prove.
He
Plus, he's
really
got
wants
something-
to redeem himself for,
Yes.
for how he left the university, you know, in
Well,
that
not
big
only that,
dramatic
but he wants to
fashion.
prove to Texas A&M. He wants to prove to all the stops he's had, which has been several.
I think Jimbo Fisher
go,
was in
"Hey,
his
I
way
still got
at
this."
Texas
Oh,
A&M.
yeah,
I still
Jimbo
got it.
Fisher
Yeah.
was definitely.
That was last year at A&M. That was not a Bobby Petrino offense, and
It was
Yeah.
somewhat, but Jimbo Fisher was also calling plays, was he not? I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure that they were
He
going
wasn't
back and
calling
forth.
plays. He just wasn't saying, "Bobby, you got the keys.
You got the reins.
both hands on the
go get
wheel.
it.
Just go do it. I'm going to step back like Pittman has."
Yeah.
Right.
He kind of had a little hand on the wheel, and Bobby didn't have full control.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that affected him. You know?
yeah, no, for sure. And you know, we're like you said a while ago. I mean, Pittman has had to swallow a ton of pride. You know, and he even made a statement at I think it was at the Touchdown Club last week, where he was like, "Hell, I'm the one who hired him. You know, me.
Yeah.
I sent him the
I
tech."
was about to
you
say
know?
that just a second ago. Yeah.
So Pittman hired him, and I know we mentioned it last week on the episode, but you know, we're a whole fan base relying and putting our faith in
Pittman's a player's
and
coach. He's
Bobby
not an
Petrino.
X's and O coach. We
But-
all agree on that.
No, for sure. And but where I'm going with that is he's had to swallow a lot of damn pride
Well,
to,
that
and
hire
his
alone,
ego.
even before the first game, even before the offseason, just to go out and make that hire, you know, he could have threw the brakes on that. He could have said, "Man, he's been here before. People are going to start calling for him to be the head coach
Yeah,
if I do bad." You know, that could have went a whole nother direction. But he said, "You know what? I don't care, because you know my number one priority is to win football."
He
when
he
this-
heard the noise
So-
though from not only like me, I was one of them, you know, saying we gotta hire.
Yeah.
Bobby Petrino. I mean, there's no choice in my mind that we're not going to get anyone better.
It was the
at that
only
point.
way to save the fan base
Exactly.
from just derailing and give.
I was
honestly,
kind of already
probably
calling for his head a little
giving
bit.
up
I
on the-
mean, I'm
but
not gonna
not-
lie.
It wasn't
So,
just that. It
But
wasn't just.
you were.
It wasn't.
You
yeah,
are for sure.
But it wasn't just firing. Listen, it wasn't just firing Sam Pittman. It was we were fixing. The fan base was about to just.
Yeah.
Vacate.
Derailed. Yeah.
It was about to vacate.
you seen the
program.
stands at the end of last year, right?
Yeah,
I mean, they're
yeah.
pretty much
Yeah,
non-existent.
It was bad. So, but to circle back and finish what I was going to say is, when we win, everyone's going to praise who? Who are we praising right now?
That's
Bobby
why I
Petrino.
took
Exactly.
a couple steps back
When
when
we-
he said that. You've got to give Pittman
Yes.
credit.
And when we
Because
lose,
He made
you know,
a hire for sure, but
yeah.
he also seen the writing on the wall. He knew he had to do something.
well, his goal, like we mentioned last week, and like everyone out there knows, is his goal is not to come in here and be the next dynasty coach and be here 10 years like Houston Nutt.
He said this is his last stop. He
It's his
said
last
that
stop.
whenever he got introduced as the head coach. He said, "This is my last job, guys.
Yep.
He
Whether
said,
it's
"This
4
gonna
years
cost
or
me a lot
whether
of
it's 8
damn
years
money."
or whatever, I'm gonna
Retire.
I'm gonna retire as a head hog." So
Yeah, no.
Hopefully, he goes out on a high note, not a fire.
I hope he goes on his own accord and not.
Exactly.
Well, yeah,
that's a
for
high
sure.
note.
And-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my opinion, if this year, I hope I'm right on my
8-4.
outcome than y'all,
For sure.
because that's a high from last year. But if
8-4 with a
if
bowl
we
game
go-
and a bowl win, that's
if we go
9-4.
that,
That's the same as 2021.
yeah, and
you
if
know?
we finish like that, he's not going anywhere. He's coming back.
Oh, for
he's
sure.
not going to just
Absolutely.
have one good year and say, "All right,
I think it needs to be
Here you
talked
go.
about if it's just 6 wins. We kind of talked,
This
touched
is
on
going to
that
be a
last
different
win.
conversation next week if we beat Oklahoma State. Then
that
everybody's going to
later.
be getting
Yeah.
on the Razorback train.
Yeah.
Maybe
I've got
hopefully-
one. I've got
hopefully
one foot
even,
on.
Nationally.
I've got one foot
You
on
know,
right now.
even Pat McAfee. I've watched a couple things he said. Pat McAfee, he loves the Razorbacks.
Yeah.
He don't dog us like some of those guys. And he showed a little clip of Traylon Green. I think he said he covered 150 yards. Taylor Green.
on that run.
God dang.
You're
He
gonna get
covered-
wrapped
He
for
covered
them
over
season.
100 yards in a 36-yard run. He starts to the right,
golly, yeah.
scrambles to the left, middle of the field, and then ends up on the whole other side of the field.
Yeah.
So that was impressive. So
Yeah,
he
it
showed
was.
that clip and gave us some love.
Yeah, so again, Jaquinta Jackson, 8 carries, 101 yards, 2 TDs, 2 receptions for 20 yards. I'm just going to kind of run down some of my stats here. Tyrell Reed Jr., 5 carries, 28 yards, 1 touchdown. Braylon Russell, 3 carries, 23 yards, 1 TD. Receiving 14 receivers. Isaac Tesla led with 3 receptions and 53 yards. Jordan Anthony, 3 receptions, 46 yards, and Luke Haas, 3 receptions, 42 yards. Tyron Broden, 3 receptions, 35 yards, and the TD. And then Ty Washington, 1 reception.
So speaking of Washington, that catch in the corner of the end zone that he threw, that was a dime ball.
So we've been talking about how dominant we were in the first game, right? So as dominant as we were, if y'all could pick one thing to say that we need to work on after watching that, what would it be?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
If you had to pick one aspect of the game, defense, offense, blocking, tackling, anything, the coaches think tackling. That's what they said in the press conference. They've been working on tackling drills all week.
That may be the case. I would say we got burned deep once. Now we got bailed out because he stepped out of bounds.
Yeah.
But if I had to say one thing was maybe covering the deep portion of the field.
I'm going deep.
It seems like it's an every year thing, right?
We're going to get into this. The quarterback for Oklahoma State, they're going to give it, and then go deep.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to see that. They're going to really take some shots at us with some deep balls. We're going to have to cover the whole field. So I would say our D-backs are going to really have to do well.
Yeah, I would agree.
That would be my only concern.
That's where I'm going. That's where I was going to go to is the D-backs. We've got Jared out there saying audio sounds good. He thinks Bobby is going to use the same offense he built around Lamar Jackson. That's his style.
Observation.
But that's his style. I mean, he stuck with it. That's what he did.
A lot of those
Bobby is not
comparisons
just a
have been
spread
made.
guy. He runs the ball. He gets the tight ends involved. He does some RPOs. He throws the ball deep. He does everything. So what does that do to defenses? They don't know what to key on.
You don't know what
you can't say, hey, we're going to stack the box and stop the run, because then we'll burn you deep. We can't say, oh, we're going to cover out here, and get 5 or 6 nickelbacks and cornerbacks and safeties and cover the pass, because then Jaquindon Jackson is going to gash you the way he ran the football Thursday. So you can't just focus on one thing.
I'd say half our play calls are an option play. I mean, he's either got the option
RPO.
to hand it off. Yeah. I mean, that helps if the quarterback knows how to read that.
Yeah. Well, that would be
a good job. He did a good job with RPOs.
What you said there about keying on one particular player or players is a good segue into the segment when we talk about Oklahoma State, but that's not what we're going to talk about right now, because they've got one guy. They've got one guy that if we key on him too much, we could be burned deep.
Well, and I've got some stats in here as far as that goes.
Well, Jared, appreciate you listening in on YouTube and watching on YouTube. Feel free to keep chatting if you got a question or something. Is Jared a buddy of yours, or
I don't know who Jared is.
It just says Jared. Don't have a last name, so I'm sorry, but Jared, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tuning in,
and everybody else.
Yeah, and everyone else
be watching.
So here is the offensive left tackle Fernando Carmona won SEC Lineman of the Week.
Yeah,
see that? Yeah, co-offensive. Yeah.
And they don't just draw a name out of the hat, folks. They did that for a reason.
Yeah.
He handled his position very well.
Yeah. No, he did. So if you want to be on the show, call or text us at the number on the screen there. We can patch you in on audio. If you just want to shoot a text, if you're not able to chat, then just shoot a text and we'll get you.
Yeah, we'll get your feedback.
Yeah, we'll get your feedback.
If it's a text, we'll be sure to read your thoughts.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll
try to put it in the right segment, or we might just bring it up. So but yeah, so let's see here. I'm still figuring out a lot of this stuff as well.
Yeah, we're definitely not perfect, folks. Yeah, we're working as we go.
I'm hosting and I'm producing at the same time, and so
he's the bones of the show.
Trying to flow here.
He's doing it all,
but
in the brains.
Well, is Colt? If Colt's out there, if we got a guest, our first guest, shoot Colt a text, tell him to come on.
We'll do that.
Yeah, we'll get him on, get his thoughts for week 1 and what he thinks where this program's going from here on out. While we're waiting on him, I've got a couple of things I'd like to say about a couple other teams that are out there that were predicted to do good. Tell them to join. Click that link I sent them.
Okay.
Not to call.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. but Florida State, oh my goodness.
Overrated,
Holy cow.
Man.
Oh, wait. I think
See,
we got
joining in
Cole.
there.
Yeah, we got
There
Cole.
you go.
We got Cole. What up,
I'm
Cole?
in. How are you guys?
We're for Colts Corner. We're good, man. How are you?
I'm a marketing genius. What can I say? You know, you talk about earlier. You opened the show with you need a funny guy. Well, here's the thing. I know a guy right here that. Geez, I'm not very. I'm not very busy on Tuesday nights, and I think I'm kind of funny. I know I get Josh riled up with his idiotic football takes.
That's easy to do.
Yeah.
That's easy.
It's easy to do. But, so my wife was like, I got out of the shower and she's like, what the hell are you doing? And I was like, what do you mean, what am I doing? She goes, well, you've got all your Razorback gear on. You hadn't had that on in a long time. I said, well, I'm kind of excited. She said, what are you doing? I said, I'm getting on a podcast. She goes, what the hell are you getting on a podcast for? I said, well, you're about to find out. And so I told her, I was like, I'm just going to celebrate and have myself an old cold beer, for the little one-liners out there. And shout out Sam Pittman because it's Sam Pittman's Coors Light. So
that's right. That's what we got.
A good old cold beer.
I'm not promoting it now. Not promoting it. But I'm going to say this. There's Caleb, get ready to hit your button. There's only one-liner that should ever stick in the University of Arkansas, and that's Bobby motherfucking Petrino.
Oh my God.
That's the only thing. I don't want to hear shit about left lane hammer down, embrace the hog, full tilt boogie, club dub. Don't care. Caleb, get ready for the button. Bobby motherfucking Petrino.
Hey,
that's it.
That's what it is. That's what it is, baby. Woo pig.
Mom's got her soap out.
Dang it! Sorry. I'm taking that back. That's on.
That wasn't me.
I'm blaming Kittyville for that one. That's going to be Deborah Snuggs, Kittyville, circa like 1998. That's going to boil down to that one. Actually, I think that was more like 96, probably.
Yeah.
I don't
Next time she sees you, Coach, you can say, "I taught you better than
say
that."
it. Yeah.
I love her though.
Let's get your thoughts on week 1 and where you think we're going from here.
Okay, so thoughts on week 1. You guys covered it pretty well. So one thing that we have not done in the past as a football team, and this is kind of where my discuss starts, is we haven't finished games and we haven't asserted dominance in a football game. Okay, I get it was UAPB. I understand that. But what do the great teams in college football do? They handle business, right?
Right.
We've all played football to some degree, okay? It's easy when you're going against an opponent that is not up to your level, whatever sport it is, football, baseball, basketball, soccer, whatever it is. It's easy to kind of let the foot off the gas a little bit.
Right.
And what I saw on Saturday was I had high expectations that we would come in and we would score. Right. I felt that was going to happen. But what you see and what separates, in my opinion, like Georgia, Alabama, those top teams across the country in multiple conferences is their depth, right? That's one thing Arkansas hasn't had in so long is we haven't had depth. And you look at guys like Malachi Singleton that comes in and he's just slinging it all over the yard. And then you've got guys like Uncle Monty that's going to be a third string guy, and he's in there making snags and getting yak yards. And I just see that, and I think that that's a win for us. It's easy.
That same depth could do the same thing against a greater opponent.
I agree, because you just look at it and you're like, it's easy for those guys to show how much they fall, like how much the difference is between 1 and 2, or even 2 and 3. But it would have been easy for even our defense, right? Even our defense, as we're subbing in guys, it would have been easy for UAPB to go and get a touchdown or get a field goal. I was kind of impressed with their quarterback. Dude actually had some arm strength. Let's give credit where it's due. But that one that he threw out of bounds off his back foot, I mean, that was pretty impressive. So understanding the level of the
touchdown inches.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the difference in a shutout right there, obviously. But I was just impressed that the team just kept just it seemed like we had that one goal, which was to dominate, and we did that, and that's not something we've done in the past. And if we would have left our starters in, which obviously you don't, and I'm not condoning that at all. I'm just saying theoretically, guys, we would have scored 100 or so. I mean, it's not even close.
You know what they say, Cole? Good teams win, great teams cover. And at a 54.5 or 56.5, whatever it was, I didn't think we would cover. If I was betting that game, we wouldn't have.
I was like 55.5, 50. Yeah. It was something.
Something like that. But we covered.
Yeah.
You know, more, a lot.
Yeah. Well, Cole, give us some insight on what you think. Do you have any areas of concern from that you saw areas of improvement from the week one?
Yeah. Yeah. So my area of concern is going to be the accuracy of Traylon Green, or Traylon Green, as Josh or Camo calls him. So the area of concern there is accuracy, but I'll say this. I will say this. What I think is going to keep the Hogs sharp, or keep him sharp, is you've got a number 2 that can come in there and sling it. And he didn't miss a beat. I don't care if he's playing against the second team. He was accurate. His reads were perfect. Again, it's easy to let your foot off the gas, but dude went in there and he slung the football around and did it with confidence. And one thing that Razorback fans have to remember about this kid was offered by Georgia, by Kirby Smart.
Yeah.
So I don't know what he would have been at Georgia. I have no idea, but guys, you have to be some kind of football player to play football at the University of Georgia right now, because they are the creme de la creme of the SEC. Like, all roads lead to Georgia.
That's right.
So, I mean, so if that quarterback competition can stay up there, I think that's going to force Traylon Green to be that guy, because he had flashes. I mean, I was thinking on that run, I'm sitting there thinking Matt Jones. And
absolutely.
My buddy Ashton even posted it. I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, dadgum, like, we haven't seen that in a while, guys. We saw things that we haven't seen in a while. UAPB, no UAPB. There was some bright spots. So my concern would be just the open receivers that he missed. You know, I can argue to say if he had a little bit more pressure, he had a lot of time. And sometimes a lot of time is not your friend. And it's easier to kind of think about things and be too perfect, which I think he was. And then you started seeing him kind of get relaxed and being Traylon. So
the competition is a good point, Cole. But you got to think of this. He may be mentally sharp and you've got that competition, but at the same time, that don't make you throw the football better. You know, his ability, he had
we think it's great. Some wide open receivers, and he missed a few.
Yeah, in the first quarter, right. I mean, he was he's 70% of his completions.
I mean, he still had one of the top quarterback ratings, in the SEC. So
Wes said Colts feed is crystal clear, and we look like we're under witness protection.
We're trying to get it worked out. We're trying to
Wes, get your ass over here and help us, damn it.
Deborah.
Oh, man. Right. Shout out to Deborah. I'm going to take this time to thank our sponsor, Dial Soap. Dial.
Lots of it.
No, so I think.
Give us your.
Well, hang on, Caleb. So that always going to be tackling on the defensive side of the ball. I believe that great defenses are going to tackle, especially in college football. I've seen a lot in the past couple of years. Arkansas has been a bad tackling team, like a really bad tackling team. Right. So I think that we didn't really get to see special teams. I'm still, I wasn't overly eager what I was hearing about in camp when it came down to our special teams. So who knows, that'll play. But I mean, you've got to have a quarterback. It starts with your quarterback. It starts with, having a leader. Saw Emmanuel Ocho, or H-O, however you say it. He was talking about that 2009 team in Texas, that 2010 team in Texas. He said, guys, we had the number 6 ranked defense in the nation. We had multiple top 5 rounders picked on that defense, and we were 5-7. Why? We didn't have quarterback. So we've got to have a guy that can make that. And do you think about the great Arkansas teams? I wouldn't say great because, we haven't won a national championship in a long, long time. But you look at those greats that we've had, Mallett, Matt Jones, guys that can man, Tyler Wilson, even Brandon Allen. I'll go as far as saying Brandon Allen, guys that can really command that football team. That's what we need. Yeah, 100%. So that's Caleb. That's where I'm looking. That's where I'm looking this year.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're 100% right, and I think Bobby went out and we got us a great transfer out of the portal, and I think Bobby had his hand and he hand selected Talon.
He tried to get him out of high school, right?
Yeah, he did. And
I just want us to be balanced.
Yeah.
If T. Will can get our defense to where we're getting pressure, we're tackling, we're covering guys to where we average 20, 24 points a game giving up, at the end of the year. And then we're averaging 35, 40 points a game on offense. We're going to win some football games.
Yeah.
The numbers speak for themselves.
I like that defensive number to be a little bit less,
maybe a little bit lower, but I mean, I'm just saying,
we're gonna
have to
some
I ain't putting my faith in the defense. I'm putting it in Bobby.
Buck, you were talking last week though. Listen, you were talking last week though, and I kind of had some time to ponder it a little bit, right? You were talking last week about the amount of points that our defense have given up, but I'm going to challenge this. Our offense was just dog shit. I mean, and your defense is going to give up points when your offense is just 3 and out. I mean, what do you do?
That's
so
kind of what I was saying earlier. Bobby Petrino brought the swagger back, not only to the offense, but the whole team.
Yeah.
I mean, he's bringing it back. He's moving the ball down the field. Even if we don't score, we scored every possession last week.
Yeah.
Going forward, even if we don't score, we're pushing the ball. We're spending 4 or 5 minutes on offense, and that helps our defense get the rest they need.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You got to have the time of possession on offense has to be on your side
for sure.
Yeah. So that's a big deal, and so I think just because of that, the defense. Yeah, I think we will see a defensive improvement this year.
I think so too.
I don't know how vast it's going to be, but it can't be worse than it was last year.
Yeah.
So
for sure. Well, before we let you go, give us your prediction for this Saturday.
Okay, so I told you and Josh and Buck on Facebook that I've got a bold take.
Uh-oh.
Okay. I'm not holding back. Okay, I still have us as a loss this game. I'm not sold yet. And I say it in saying this, like I'm not sold yet, but this is my bold take. So at the beginning of the year, or just, me and a couple of my other buddies talking, I had us at 7-5. 7-5 still with a loss this coming Saturday.
Yeah.
Which I feel like is better. There's just a lot of things. However, this is my bold take. It's not going to be less than 7. But if it trends more than 7, it's not going to be 8. It's going to be 9 or 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And the simple fact is this. Caleb, get your button ready. Bobby motherfucking Petrino. It's happening. It's happening, boys. And that's it.
I agree with that.
No, that's it. There's no in between. Like it's going to be 7 wins. It's going to be 7 wins. If it's north of 7, it's north of 8, because I just feel like that swagger that you're talking about is back. And I'll leave you guys with this, and this is my thoughts. Y'all talked about it a little bit earlier. The stadium was about to be empty this year, boys. Like,
oh yeah, yeah.
Like Josh, I know that you love Coach Pittman because he's soft and he's a nice guy and he drinks cold beer and like he doesn't coach guys hard. I know you like them little soft ass coaches, Josh. I know you like that. But we haven't had a coach give a good MF into somebody in a long time. And that's what people need. That's what people need in this world. Our world is soft. Our world is so soft. All right. So it's happening. That's what it's going to be. I really like the thought is look, it's all about, I posted this. Make no mistake about it. Posted on Twitter or X. It's all about Bobby Petrino this year. It's not about Sam Pittman. The Sam Pittman ship has sailed. Okay, it's over with. That stadium was about to be so empty. The program is about to lose millions of dollars because we're just renovating the stadium. We're doing all that. What are you doing all that for? Nobody's coming. Nobody's moving the needle. The needle's not moving. It's all about marketing. Bobby Petrino moves the needle. What happens is this year, if we go north of 7, here's what happens. If we go north of 7 and we win 9 or 10 games, because that's what's going to happen. It's not going to be 8. It's going to be 9 or 10. I'm going on record. I'll say it every week. If that happens, cut it. That's what's happening. If that happens, listen, if that happens, Sam Pittman is riding off into the sunset. He's going off on a high. He got the program. He Mike Anderson the program. He got it to a solid spot. Here's the keys, Bobby, to a brand new Harley. Stay away. Stay away. Here's your blonde. Do whatever. I don't care. Here you go. Redeem yourself. That's what it is. We're lifting the curse this year, boys. Again, it's north. If it gets north of 7, it's not 8. It's 9 or it's 10. All right. All right, boys.
You heard it here first on the
here
on Colts Corner. I keep wanting to call it an hour, but it's really not an hour, so we'll keep it at Colts Corner. I love it. Well, Colt, man, appreciate you coming on.
Appreciate it.
Looking
Colt.
forward to having you on more than just tonight. And so
I'm telling you, guys need a fourth. You know where to find me.
Let's go.
Bobby motherfucker.
All right. See y'all, boys. Bye.
All right. And so, yeah, I mean, y'all heard it. That's a bold prediction right there. I like it. Of course, it's in our favor.
I agree with it. I agree with it.
And
I never would have thought Colt Harmon would be a little bit more optimistic than all 3 of our, predictions.
Yeah.
So
I think whether we're successful
the
or
only
we
thing where I
fail, our
disagree with
next head
Colt,
coach is Bobby Petrino.
he's putting all his eggs in the Bobby Petrino train.
I am too.
All in the Bobby Petrino basket. He's given no credit whatsoever, 0 credit to Sam Pittman.
Sam Pittman
who's
hired
the
him.
head football coach of the Razorbacks still to this day.
Oh man.
But I agree with some of what he said.
You got soft hands, brother.
Well,
you got soft hands.
let's keep this show rolling. And shout out to Jared. I now know who you are out there on YouTube. That is Jared McKenzie. He is one of the guys I gave a shout out to last week that kind of helped get this thing going.
Oh, okay.
I helped,
Heck yeah.
I reached out to him. He's got his own podcast. I don't know what it is. Jared, put it in the chat. We'll give you a shout out. I know you haven't done it in a while, but we'll give you a shout out. And then he did ask KJ's performance at UCF. I caught some highlights. It looked like it was kind of a lot more lackluster than anything.
Yeah.
I don't have stats on it.
I honestly couldn't tell you. I didn't even watch that game. I seen the stat line and the box score of it and kind of seen, because of course everybody was sharing it on social media and Facebook, so it was hard to miss.
Yeah.
But I can't really give an opinion because I didn't see how he played.
And I don't want to dog him because
I know he started out like
KJ.
1 for 7 or something like that, but I didn't keep up with it after that.
Yeah, let's roll on.
Right.
So like I mentioned earlier before Colt came on, FSU overrated with the loss to Georgia Tech and Boston College. Boston College went in to where are they located? Tallahassee? Is that where Florida State's at?
Yeah, Tallahassee.
Yeah. They came into Tallahassee with 1 goal in mind, and they freaking
executed. They seen the way
it.
Georgia Tech played them, and they said, you know what, they're beatable.
Yeah, well,
all we got to do is play defense, play hard, and they
did.
I don't think we should give them too much credit. I think they're a lot overrated.
They're a lot overrated.
Preseason rankings mean nothing.
That's right. That's right.
Look,
you
Arkansas
got
being
to
the
play
top
the
10.
football game.
All right. One more thing I'd like to bring up, just as I was scrolling through these stats over the last couple of days, there was one thing that stuck out to me the most, and you might be thinking, well, it was the passing yards, or it was the rushing yards, it was Jaquinta Jackson. It was actually one of the officials that stuck out to me. Y'all call me.
Looks at the officials' names in the game.
Who
Hey,
looks
you're
at
the
that?
only guy that I know.
When you read this, you're going to understand why. Guess who one of the line judges was? I know you already seen this because I told you I was going to bring it up. But one of the line judges on Thursday's game, his name is Chris Snuggs. And that name might sound familiar
He's your
to y'all
14th cousin.
because that is my last name. And
Deborah, you got another son out there we
I
don't know about?
never,
Hey, now.
outside of my family, I've never met another Snuggs. So, but this isn't the first Razorback game that he is coached. And I didn't go back to officiated. I didn't go back to when he very first started, but he's been a line judge. He's part of a Sun Belt officiating crew, and he officiates some SEC games. He reffed the Holiday Bowl versus Louisville and USC last year. He also reffed the Arkansas FIU game last year and the Arkansas A&M game last year.
Wow.
So shout out to Chris Snuggs. He's from Trustville, Alabama. So if this somehow makes it to Chris Snuggs in Trustville, Alabama,
Shout out to him.
Shout out, because we've got the same last name, brother.
Next time you call the Hogs game, we need a little love. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, 70-0. How much more love can you get?
We need a little home cooking.
Hey, if this blows up, now that I mentioned it, he's gonna be like, "Damn it, I can't ref another Razorback game."
No, exactly. He's from Alabama. We ain't getting nothing from
SEC
him.
officials going to get
We're
a
not
hold
getting
of this.
anything.
And he's
back
probably
out.
an Auburn fan. You know,
He's probably
an
you're either
Auburn
orange
fan.
or blue or
So,
red
all
and
right,
white.
just a little fun fact I thought. So now we're going to move on to a segment called Razorback Mount Rushmore. So it's a segment I think
What
Camo.
about the Woo Pig Cuties? I
Oh,
thought
let's
that
do
was
Woo Pig
next.
Q's. You're
I
right.
think we should skip
You're
that
jumping
segment for
around,
this week.
brother.
We-
Well,
Come on now.
let's do it
man,
quick.
for time
All right.
wise.
Let's do Woo Pig Q's. Let's cue the
I'll
music
be
up.
quick.
Let's
I'll
cue
be
the
quick.
music up. Let's cue the music
No, I'm
up.
saying the Razorback.
I know
Rushmore.
we had some issues with this
Hopefully
last
they can
week.
hear this.
Hopefully y'all can hear it. We're playing music. If not,
Turn it up
then
some.
Sorry. All right. Camo,
All right,
let's hear
guys,
these.
here we go.
Let's hear these Woo Pig.
Question number 1 of the Woo Pig Cuties. Excuse me. And I was 3, you were 2, so I'm winning. Hopefully one of y'all at least matched the knowledgeable Camo over
Okay,
here.
let's hear
Oh,
it.
God.
So who holds the FBS largest margin of victory in NCAA history?
Shoot, I'm going to go Alabama.
Well, I'm going to give you some options.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We've got A, Michigan,
Multiple choice, but
B, Penn State, C, Oklahoma, or D, Florida.
Oklahoma.
golly, what I was going to say wasn't even an option. Say those options again. Say the
So we got
choices.
A, Michigan, B, Penn State, C, Oklahoma, D, Florida.
I want to go Penn State.
What was yours, Buck?
Oklahoma.
It is, in fact, B, Penn State.
Dang.
They won by 81 points. Now, this is FBS. This is not,
Against an F-
modern era. No, this is just period.
Okay, period.
Modern era FBS, and that was in 1991 versus Cincinnati. 1991. Okay,
We
question
weren't
number
even
2.
born yet.
Yeah, that's before y'all youngsters was thought of.
All right, I'm up 1.
All right, question number 2. Arkansas's largest defeat in school history.
Is
by
this
a point
football?
margin. This is football. This is
Oh,
football.
Okay. I know
Arkansas's
this.
largest defeat of what they had lost by
Give the
a
options.
point margin. Okay, A is Texas, B is LSU, C is Oklahoma, and D is Alabama. Buck, what you got, bub?
Is there years to that?
I know
Or is
what
it
Is
just
there what?
years, like years that
No.
it happened? Okay.
No. There's just in period in,
Okay.
in school
Man,
history.
I want to go. I felt confident with my answer when you asked
So
the
the first
question,
one?
but
Oh.
now that you gave the choices, because I remember specifically one game in our lifetime that I can remember, and it was versus Alabama. But man, I want to say Texas. I want to say Texas, but I think I'm going to go Alabama.
What's your final answer?
My final answer is Texas. I'm going with my gut. You always go with your gut.
Buck, what you got?
Uh,
A, Texas, B, LSU, C, Oklahoma, D, Alabama.
Man, I want to go Texas as well. That's
Okay. All right. You said it. It's in fact C, Oklahoma in
Dang.
1918. We lost 130.
1918.
Damn, dude.
I told you, period. It's a school,
At least when I asked questions last week, I brought up like some modern stuff
So it was 103-0.
versus Oklahoma.
Oklahoma and Arkansas
Dang.
in 1918.
Wow.
That was
Okay,
before
so
we
there's
were
a
the
little-
Razorbacks.
little
We were
factor.
103 to
we were the
nothing.
Well,
Cardinals
that's school
still.
history.
Yeah.
School
Yeah.
history. Okay. Now I
All
went way back in the archives on that one, boys. All right. Question number 3. Who holds the MLB record for the worst regular season record and yet still won the World Series?
Oh,
Championship.
God, I know this.
Okay. Here's your options. A is New York Mets. B is Detroit Tigers. C is the Arizona Diamondbacks. And D is the St. Louis Cardinals.
Man,
I feel like it should be Cardinals
this guy's
just because y'all are
trick-
Cardinals
tricking
fans,
me right here.
but I feel like you're throwing me for a loop here.
For a curveball? No pun
Has
intended.
the
with some
Diamondbacks
MLB
won a
questions.
championship? I want to
So
say
what
the
you got?
Diamondbacks.
Okay.
Man,
Arizona.
I should know this, and I'm embarrassed that I don't because that's my sport. I'm just going to go the Mets.
Okay. Well, it is D. St. Louis Cardinals.
Oh, dang.
We-
I thought you were throwing us the
We
curveball.
finished the 2006 season 83-78.
Oh,
It was
06, I knew
the
that.
worst record of a division, winner.
Y'all got hot.
and then we got hot
We
right
went
at the
through
end
the
and
wild
won in
card.
2006.
Yeah.
So
You're
I didn't
right.
know it was
surprised
the
my
worst.
brother did not get that.
Dang
I actually
it.
was trying to throw him a bone,
Yeah.
hence the word bones, and he
Digging
didn't
up.
even bite on
I
it.
thought you were throwing us a
Didn't even
curveball.
bite. Okay, question number 4.
Oh, we
is-
got Alicia chiming in. She said Michigan. I'm assuming that was to
Oh,
the earlier.
is that our
question.
sister, Alicia?
I think so. It don't
Oh,
give me
wow.
last names. I'm
Hi-
sorry.
Hi, sis.
It
Love
just
you.
says Alicia. I'm assuming that's our sister.
Yeah.
What up?
Okay, question number 4 is what PGA golfer leads with the most second place finishes in major championships?
I feel like I know this.
Second place finishes.
Okay.
So A is Phil Mickelson, B is Tiger Woods, C is Jack Nicklaus, and D is Fred Couples.
I'm gonna go.
Phil
I'm
Mickelson.
gonna go couples.
Okay, it is C, Jack Nicklaus, who is also the most major
We suck.
winning.
We didn't get
Golfer.
nothing right.
I thought
I
these
didn't
were
get
easy.
one
Hey,
right.
I'm still winning though.
You got
You got one.
You got a 25% chance of getting it right before I even start asking the questions. So I figured y'all could put at least a couple of these together. So he's got 18 majors. Can you guess the number as a bonus of how many times he come in second in major championships?
Total.
Total.
9.
7.
19.
Oh, I knew it was more.
18 major wins, but 19 second place finishes.
Golly.
Tell me how good that dude was. That's
Sheesh.
unbelievable. So I didn't even look up the numbers. How many
If
times?
McElroy
How
was
many
on the
times
list, I
Tiger
would have picked him.
finished
Yeah.
second? But 19's a lot. 18 majors is a lot. So
Yeah.
he's definitely the best golfer to ever swing the sticks. Last question. NBA player with the most NBA championships. Okay, we got A, Robert Horry. We've got B, Wilt Chamberlain, C, Bill Russell, or D, Michael Jordan.
Bill Russell.
I'm gonna go Bill Russell just because he's an
That's
NBA guy.
Okay, you got that
I
one
mean,
right.
I
We
knew
finished
that,
on a
but
good, on a
that
good
was easy.
strong
That
note.
was an easy one.
That, and
I
he has
won.
11 of those puppies, by the way. 11
You
of them.
cheated off me,
No,
though.
I
He
didn't.
looked on
I
my
didn't
paper.
cheat.
He looked on my
Yeah.
paper over here.
All right, that was awesome. All right, we got to speed this up.
Yeah.
It's about time.
Yeah. All right. So real quick, Razorback Mount Rushmore, camo. Let's hear it.
My Razorback Mount Rushmore, of course, this is all, my opinion of what I
This is
think.
just
And
football
we
too,
want you
right?
to give your
Okay.
opinion of your Razorback Mount Rushmore. Either call in, give a brief top 4, or comment on the live stream. But mine is going to be Frank Broyles, national champion, AD, and a very good humanitarian for the, for Alzheimer's and the university, and really we wouldn't be where we are as far as a school and university if it wasn't for Frank Broyles. So he's top of the list. I've got Nolan Richardson at number 2. He's a national champion, and he's the only coach to win the NIT, the
See, I thought this was
NCAA
football.
championship, and the junior college championship, and is in the basketball Hall of Fame. So Nolan Richardson's going to get my 2 spot. This may surprise you. Number 3 is John Daly. John Daly with 2 major wins in golf. He was at the top of his game, top of his profession.
Yeah.
And you want to know, Buck, what it means to embrace the hog?
I still you won't
Just
ever
look
explain
at John Daly's life and how
What'd
he
you say?
rolls.
it. You won't ever explain.
He embraces
That explains
the
it the
hog.
best you can. But
Everything
I mean,
he does is about the Razorbacks for sure. So John Daly's number 3, and then I've got Darren McFadden. Probably should have been our only Heisman winner in school history. The ultimate hog, in my opinion. I think everybody in the country when he was playing knew of Darren McFadden and D-Mac, and he's probably top 3 best running backs in NCAA
well,
history.
I thought this was just football, so I didn't know it was everything.
Yeah.
You
it's
didn't
everything.
specify there,
Okay, sorry.
Mr. Bones, on the question.
It just says Razorbacks Mount Rushmore. How
Yeah,
clear
well,
do you want?
But I thought it was it's football
Let's
season.
hear it.
I thought
Whatever.
Anyway, I thought it. So mine is Darren McFadden. Got to have him on there, right? So
Right.
and I also got Ron Mallett, Frank Broyles, like you said, and then I got Bullsworth with his story and
Brandon Burlesworth.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
but I thought we were just going football there. So
Well, I went a lot of football too. I went D-Mac, Matt Jones. I wanted to save this one for last, but Ron Mallett.
Matt Jones.
Listen. I went with in my lifetime. Okay. So I went D-Mac, Matt Jones, and then I did a group. I did Ron Mallett, Joe Adams, Jarius Wright, Kobe Hamilton, because that group was the funnest I've ever seen. That was the best we've ever seen Razorback football. I mean, in our lifetime and probably your lifetime too. I mean, so I kind of put them all up there. I know that's really, but my last one is Andrew Benintendi.
I seen the Sterner years.
Yeah.
Where he fumbled. Burlsworth actually stepped on his foot.
On. Yeah.
And we were going to go to the national championship that year, guys. If we'd have won that game, we'd have been in the game. So I seen the Sterner years when I was young. But then, probably Bob Petrino's probably second best.
Yeah. But I went Andrew Benintendi as my last one.
That's a good one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's up there for
My
sure.
honorable mention was Dave Van Horn. If we had the debacle, that foul ball in 2018,
he's still there
against
West.
He probably would have taken Daly on my list.
Yeah.
But we didn't win that game, and he's still looking for a natty.
Well, that was against Wes's. Wes, if you're still watching, don't say nothing about that because Wes's team, that's the
Oregon State,
is the Beavers.
Yeah.
So. All right, so let's just let's wrap this up. Let's break down the our next opponent, which is Oklahoma State. The Cowboys game is at 11 a.m. down in Stillwater.
I hate that time slot.
I think it helps us though.
I hate the time slot. Well, they won't have enough time to get rowdy and
time out.
Liquid courage in the stands.
It helps.
The 11 a.m. Okay, how's it helped us in the past? Because sucky teams play at 11 and.
I mean, are we considered sucky?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying in years past before. So they've got this new format on TV on the TV.
Night games are harder to play on the road, are they not? It's been proven. Right?
Yes,
I mean,
but it's a marquee game. That's a top 25 matchup. They're in the top 25. I mean,
for us, it's
right. I don't like the time slot, but
y'all know how far their campus is from our campus?
Yes, I do.
I do too.
181 miles.
I seen that on the radio this morning.
I did not look.
You saw it on my notes?
No, not on your notes. I heard it on. I heard it on the radio.
Don't be note stealing. Don't be note stealing.
I read it on the internet.
Yeah. So last week, they won 44-20. They won 44-20 over South Dakota State. Ollie Gordon. That's who I was going to say earlier. It's a good segue. We have to key on them, but we can't solely key on them because that's going to open up the deep ball. Mike Gundy loves to throw the ball down the field. Ollie Gordon had 37 carries for 104 yards and 2 TDs. Their quarterback, Alan Bowman, 25 for 34, 267 yards and 3 TDs. So they've got a stout offense.
Yeah.
There's no question about that, but I think we have a stout offense too.
Well, and they scored 20 points on them. So what does that tell me? If SDSU can score 20 on them, we can score 40. And then all we got to do is get that 44 mark that they scored on SDSU to 24.
Their time of possession is almost the same.
Even.
Yeah.
And we win by 10. So
we got to
reverse that number, and hopefully we're winning 44-20.
Our defense coordinator likes to blitz a lot. He's very aggressive. I think they might have some big plays. And I think that might hurt us in the end.
I think time of possession is key in this. I really do. That we're on the road. They like to kind of, get you lured in with Ollie Gordon, and they're going to give it to him, and then they're going to try to hit it over the top. And I guarantee you guys,
that's what's going to happen.
That's what they're going to try to do. But if you look at the box score, guys, okay, 394 to 388 total yards. So when you don't look at the score, look at the box score, 394 to 388. Very close in yardage between Oklahoma State and SDSU. Time of possession was 30 minutes and 47 seconds to 29-13. So it's almost 50-50 on time of possession between the two of them. First downs, SDSU had 17 first downs against Oklahoma State. What does that tell you?
They were more methodical down the
field.
They're
susceptible. Yeah. They're vulnerable on defense to move the ball on them. With the yards that they got on them, the first downs, and then they were able to run the football and hold.
Well, let's not knock them. They're a good team. They were 29 games, I think, in a row they won.
Yeah. Only gave them one bone, only one turnover. So the score really doesn't show how competitive that game was. They scored 14 points early, got up on them early, and then it was kind of even the next second, third, fourth quarter.
Yep.
You know, if they
got
hadn't
the
have
ground.
scored and jumped up on them early on those 14 points, you're looking at a 10-point game, or maybe even closer to a one-score game right there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean they've got a.
So did you say
they've
your
got a lot of
score?
weapons?
What's
yeah.
your final scores here?
Well, I'm gonna have to go back to
Well,
notes
I'll-
number one.
I'll
I had a
ahead.
loss,
I do too.
31-28, Oklahoma State.
I got 38-28 loss. I think it's going to be close, and they're gonna hit a couple big plays in the second half that'll kill us.
Yeah, well we've
That's what I think.
we've all got a close game. I'm the only one that's got the W for us. I've got 28-24 Hogs. Over,
I hope you're
over the
right. I hope
Pokes.
you're right.
I hope
man.
you're right.
Well, yeah, I think so. I think I am. I mean, just because I think I'm right all the time. As probably my wife would concur
agree.
with that statement.
Right.
But I think we've got some key players out. We've got Armstrong.
He's questionable.
He's questionable. He's not.
Kudus is. He's already said Kudus is going to be out.
Kudus is out.
So
Kudus got a back injury. I don't.
and
I don't know
back.
what-
I mean,
That could be a multitude of
your
things.
back, man. When it hurts, you just
That's one
can't.
of the worst.
It
things.
affects your whole darn body,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and he's got to get that right. I don't care if he sits out for a few games. He needs to get healthy.
Kind of like
he needs
Tiger
to get
Woods.
healthy, but
Tiger Woods.
but
got that
Armstrong.
Yeah.
I mean, that's our man, and we need him. I mean, we need him
He's our go-to
in the
guy.
stretch. He's our go-to guy. We need him in the stretch. Would love to have him for this game, but
Yeah.
if he's still nursing the hamstring injury, then we've got some other weapons that we can resort to.
Yeah.
That I think will be all right without him.
I do too. We got plenty of guys to throw the ball to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tesla did good. Haas did good. You got Broden. A couple other guys, can step up and hopefully, carry the load.
Yeah, so this is Arkansas. This is the Hogs and the Pokes. Let's call them by our nicknames. The Hogs and the Pokes. This is the first matchup since 1980. Oklahoma State. I think this is going to be good. Going back to your statement that the game time, the start time is in our favor because they're going to try to strap out the stadium. I saw that
Oh, really?
on one of their forums that they're going to strap out. They're going to try to strap out the stadium. The series, the Hogs and Pokes series began in 1912, 46 total matchups. This is our 10th time in Stillwater, 181 miles apart. We lead the all-time series at 30-15-1. So we've tied
Love
once.
that.
We're tied.
I'm glad y'all looked that up.
We're
'cause I-
tied in Stillwater at 4-4-1. Right. And
Let's
so
break the tie record.
now
the tiebreaker.
here's an interesting fact. Upon doing my research, here is one of the most interesting facts that I learned about Oklahoma State. Since 2020, Oklahoma State has the second most home wins next to Alabama. They have 24 home wins. So home field advantage is in their favor, obviously, because it's there. I mean, that's a given. But I mean, home field
That's
advantage, not games there. That's giving them.
I don't like that
a couple
stat.
of
You
those
should have
numbers.
never said that.
Yeah, that
Now
scares
listen,
me.
listen. That's called adversity, boys. We can battle it, right?
Yeah.
So another stat that I came across upon my research is Oklahoma State is only one of 4 teams to post winning seasons every year since 2010. Can you guess the other 3 without looking at my notes?
Winning season since
2010.
2003 or 2010.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Um,
Clemson.
Nope.
You got me. That was my one guess.
Bama, Boise State.
I was
and
going to say
Wis-
Bama, but that's so
Wisconsin.
cliche.
Okay.
One word, Gundy. He's been there for
You
20
said
years, right?
besides Bama, though, right?
No, I said no. I just said Bama. No, I said they're
Their head-
one of 4 teams to post winning seasons every year. Can you guess the other 3?
Oh,
Their
okay.
head coach,
Yeah.
Mike Gundy, has been there 20 years, I think, is what I read.
He's been there a long time. He's a
That's-
man.
You don't see that.
He's not
nowadays.
40 anymore, but I mean he
I'm
might.
40.
I'm assuming he's.
How old are you, Josh?
I'm 37.
I'm assuming
not
he's
big
still
40.
a man. I'm assuming he's still a man. But
I'm a man. I'm 40.
yeah. Hey, he backed
I'm
his
a
players up.
I'm a
though.
real
He rocks the mullet
He rocks
about
the
as
mullet.
good as Joe Dirt.
Yeah.
Yep. So, hey,
He's perfect for Oklahoma State for sure.
and I hope he's a loser on Saturday.
I do
Nah,
too.
A big loser.
But
Yeah.
we're going in. They're ranked number 17. I think they're still holding that slot. I know the AP. I think the AP poll came out today. I haven't. I'm kind of looking at y'all to see to confirm if I'm right.
I don't know. I mean, because there's
Honestly,
been so
don't
much.
know.
There's been 2 ranked
17.
teams lose. I don't
If
know
they
how
moved,
shuffle
they didn't move very
It comes
much.
out today, right?
It's
The-
already
yeah.
out. So
Yeah,
the AP.
yeah.
I know
So,
it's on.
They
my
might have moved
phone.
up one. I mean, we know Florida State's moving out, right?
Oh, for
Texas,
sure.
Texas A&M's moving down.
Okay,
so,
I've got it
yeah.
right here. Here we go. So they are they're number 16. So
16.
Like I
Yeah,
said,
but
if they moved, they moved up
they
one.
they moved
Yeah.
up one slot. So
All right.
Baby.
yeah. So, but I mean, I'm feeling probably it sounds like a little bit more optimistic about going into Stillwater on Saturday and coming out with the dub.
I think if it's a close game, I think we're going to lose. That's
What's the factor? What's the deciding?
home.
Oh, yeah, home
Their,
team
their home
advantage.
team.
Yeah.
advantage? Okay.
Yeah.
Their home team, and we haven't been in that situation as a team. And you know they got an
Not as
experienced
a
coach.
team, but I mean, this ain't their first time on the field.
Well, then
Right.
let me mention
in
this
a
guy.
hostile
But
environment.
Ollie Gordon's longest
But they
run.
have
Ollie Gordon's longest run against SDSU was 12 yards. He never ran a run. He ran 104 yards on 27 carries, and his longest was 12 yards. Okay. Here's what I say is the key. And you said, what? If it's close, we're going to lose because of home field advantage. This is what I say. If we do not get pressure on the quarterback, if we cannot pressure him, and they're allowed to run the football and pass it at will, we will lose.
I wanted
But if we can get pressure and we can stop the run on defense, we'll outscore them.
I wanted to look
Well,
up the
I
exact
promise you.
number, and I would have been off. I was going to say 20, but it's 21 returning starters
Yeah,
for
they-
Oklahoma State.
they-
That's another reason why.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They've
they've
been
got a
there
lot.
and done that
Yeah.
together.
and their offensive line, all returning starters.
So
Yep.
if it's a close game, I have it as a loss.
Yeah,
Well,
I said
yeah.
37 carries earlier, but you corrected me. It is 27 carries.
Yeah.
I said 37. So, but no, I mean, you bring up valid points. I'm not changing my mind. I'm still going with a W in a close game. I think it's going to be.
I like you sticking to your guns.
I think it's going to be.
Sticking to your guns.
Oklahoma State Cowboys
Cowboys,
style.
Yeah. What is a poke? Like, what is a poke?
Don't
I really-
show our ignorance.
Man,
We've already done it enough.
If you're out there tuning in and you know what a poke is, like let
I
us
can
know
look it up
because
real
I don't
quick.
know what a poke is. But they're saying is go pokes,
Go
right?
Pokies.
And
It's
they
gotta
have
be
the
some sort
they
of
have the
cowboy.
paddles on the bottom row. Student section has the paddles. They slap on
Yeah.
the.
It's a
deal, right?
slang. It's a nickname for the Oklahoma State University, which is known for cowboys and cowgirls, and it's a term short for cow pokes, which is a slang for cowboy.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's got to have.
Well,
Yeah.
That's all
Yeah.
it is.
Very interesting. But again, I'm still. I feel good. Maybe I'm still riding the high from last week. From last week's victory.
You have every
but man.
reason to be confident.
absolutely.
So
Why
I
not?
like
Like Coach said,
I wanna
Bobby
be.
MF Petrino, right? I mean, he's a saving grace, obviously, for especially for Buck here. I mean,
Don't forget our head coach Pittman over there.
he brought him in.
He brought
Yeah.
him in. He
Yeah.
brought him in.
The angel soft.
Hey, I tell you
Yeah.
this.
Oh, that's
Coach,
our other
Coach,
sponsor, Angel Soft.
hey, like I said last week,
Coach Pittman.
I
I'm
wanted-
sure he loves that.
hey, I said last week, I wanted a coach that comes in and flips tables, throws chairs.
He's it.
And he's it. In 2011 and 2010, 11, all those years he was here, the players were scared to mess up.
Exactly. They are now.
I want to
You
get
know
back,
what I would
want
like?
to get back to that.
This just come to my mind, so I'm going to shoot from the hip. I would love to get an anonymous vote from every Razorback player, get them in a private room and ask them, and don't name names. Do a poll of who would you rather have as your head coach, Sam Pittman or Bobby Petrino. Don't name the names. Just do a percentage of 70% says BP or 70% says Sam Pittman.
Let's rephrase that. Let's rephrase that question.
Players
Let's
that are
rephrase
at
that
practice
question, sir.
from those two guys.
Rephrase that
Just
question.
we got an opinion. Ask the players.
If Pittman is the head coach, is Bobby Petrino still there? Because that shouldn't happen. It should be Bobby Petrino there, Pittman gone, or Pittman there, Bobby Petrino gone.
Either way,
Either way,
you're picking.
No,
who
no,
would you
no,
rather
either
have
way.
as your head coach, BP or Sam Pittman?
Well, if Pittman's the head
Make a
coach,
simple
Bobby
question.
Petrino, the offense coordinator, like it is now, then of
I-
course they're going to pick Pittman because he's
Yeah.
the nicest guy.
I think if you did that and you put that scenario on where they're the head coach, I think people are going to lean toward Bobby Petrino. I mean, I really do.
They
I
are.
think that.
If
Now,
they knew their name wouldn't be mentioned.
if they
Yeah.
knew their
And they
name would
could
be
just do it.
mentioned off
Yeah.
camera, I'll go in there and I'll keep it. Someone
If they wanna
someone
win
get me
games
in
and
there
they're
I'll do
smart.
it. I'll do it. you
If
know?
they're smart and they want to win games, they pick him.
I've got a voice
I
changer.
don't
on
mind
here.
going against the grain. I really don't. I do not mind going against the grain.
Well,
I
you're
wanna say-
going.
I'm going to venture to say
You're not even on the
65
green
to
right now.
70% of the team would say,
Question
Oh.
like that.
Oh, cold beer.
"Oh, cold beer."
Well, hey, I don't dislike them. I want them to succeed.
I do too.
Obviously, we all do. But you know, it like you keep saying, he's not the X's and O's necessarily like Bobby Petrino is, and we go to that because that's what we know. I mean, I've got kids, you've got kids, and you do too, who have never seen. I mean, except 1 year in 2021, who've never seen a good winning Razorback football team.
Yeah.
You know, and during our high school 2011, and then you know, that was the highlight of Razorback football for us. I mean,
Yeah,
2010,
past
2011, going to the
2011,
Sugar Bowl.
If any kid was born past 2011, they haven't really seen the Hogs do what we needed to do. So,
well,
Yeah.
that's pretty much all we have for this week's episode. But Kimbo, any closing?
go Hogs, beat the
statements?
Woo
Cowboys.
pig.
Woo pig.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank everyone out there for joining and tuning in. Wes, Jared, thank y'all, and Sis. Paxton, not Paxton. Grady said on here he gave us his Mount Rushmore of Hogs: Cops, Burlsworth, John Daly, and Bobby Portis.
There you
Bobby
go.
Portis.
There you go, G man.
Like it, G-Man.
Love you, buddy. Again, thank everyone out there. Make sure to like, subscribe to us on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. We did get a comment on Spotify with thumbs up saying, "Good job, fellas." So
Well, hopefully we're all talking
appreciate
about
all our
a
listeners out
Hog
there.
win
That's
on
right.
next Tuesday
Yeah.
night.
I hope so.
Yeah.
hope
I
so.
hope so.
Go Hogs.
Go Hogs.
Woo
Whoop it.
pig.
Woo pig.